Hello there. This is your girl, Valerie Mason Chase, and I'm flying solo today, y'all. No Cookie Man. I feel kind of like Batman without Robin or the Green Hornet without Kato, but I'm going to hang in there and I'm going to do my best. So, welcome. Hey, Ben. Hey, Ben. So glad to see you here. Thanks for tuning in. And this is Marriage Matters brought to you by Marriage Beyond the Breach. And we have a topic today that I believe so many women deal with throughout the course of their lives. And this is not meant to take away anything that the men do in our lives or the hats that they wear, but we are going to talk specifically about women and the many hats that women wear as we navigate to do life with the people with whom we do life. And this hits home for me because I am a woman. I have worn many hats, and I'm still wearing many hats. Hey, Nicole. I mean, granted, my children are not young anymore, but when you have a woman who is married or single and has young children, and she's working full time, and she's in school full time or part time, and doing ministry and all sorts of things. So that's what we're going to talk about today. It looks like Nicole is in Jamaica. You go, girl. Hey, man. I hope you're having a good time and enjoying that sun over there because our weather ain't so hot here right now. So I have special guests with me today. The female, I'm getting tongue-tied so early in the show. The wife is a sister friend of mine, and she's also a colleague. So I'm going to bring them on right now. And there they are, Frank and Dr. Angel Windham. Thank you guys so much for being here this evening.
Thank you for having us.
Yes.
I'm so glad that you were here. And I know, Angel, I remember when I contacted you and I told you what the subject matter was going to be. And I said, you're this and this and you're this and you're this. And you said, wow, I didn't even think about it like that. And I said, yeah, it's a lot. So I just want to, before we get started, I always like to read the bio of my guests so you guys can know who we have on our program. And I want you guys to just welcome Angel and Frank to the broadcast. So I'm going to read Frank's bio first. So Frank Windham is a devoted husband and father of 2 sons. He was a biology major at University of Louisville. And in case y'all don't know, Louisville is in Kentucky. He is a faithful member of Kingdom Living Ministries, where he is a minister in training at MIT. Frank is a lover of sports, and he has coached his son's sports team. Way to go, Frank. I'm sure your boys love having you out there with them. Frank has an athletic background where he ran track and played football. He is an eclectic music lover, which means he likes all kind of music, probably even some country. And it ain't too many of us that like country, but that's probably part of your likes. And Frank also enjoys watching documentaries. Wow. People who like documentaries are usually what I call brainiacs. They're kind of brainy. So you probably fall into that category too, Frank. So Dr. Angel Windham is a licensed clinical social worker and a certified clinical social worker. She is the founder of New Creation Counseling Services, LLC, which is her private practice in Somerset, New Jersey, although she does provide telehealth at this time. Dr. Angel mostly works with children, adolescents, and young adults. God bless you with those children, Dr. Angel. I always tell everybody I don't have the oil for that, but God bless you and others who do. Dr. Angel does have experience working with clients of all ages and has worked over the past 15 years in various treatment settings. Dr. Angel is trained to meet her clients where they are and help them to achieve their goals and get unstuck. Dr. Angel has various resources in her toolkit and frequently uses play therapy techniques, cognitive behavioral therapy, and relies on the strength based therapy to point out to clients just how resilient they really are. Dr. Angel is a wife and mother of two sons. She is a believer in Jesus Christ and works with her clients to incorporate prayer and daily Bible reading as ways to cope. Dr. Angel does meet with clients who are not of the Christian faith as well, who are dealing with grief, depression, and anxiety. Lastly, but certainly not least, Dr. Angel earned her Bachelor of Arts degree from Lincoln University in PA, her master's in social work from Kane University, and her doctorate in social work in 2021 from Capella University. Dr. Angel is motivated to work with you, and her personal motto is, "Today I take action." Wow. So God bless you both. God bless you so much. And again, welcome, welcome, welcome to the broadcast. Oh, and there's Dr. Danita. Hey, Dr. Danita. Thank you so much for tuning in. I appreciate you guys being here. Hold on. I'm trying to get this up on my Facebook. I always have trouble with that when I'm trying to get it on my phone, but I guess it'll come up in a few minutes. Hi, Lisa Hopkins. Good to see you. Thank you for watching. So this is where I want to start with you guys. I'd like to start the conversation with you guys sharing your particular love story, how you met, how long you've been married, the ages of your children, and anything else that you might want to share with the listening audience today.
I'll let Frank start.
Go ahead, Frank.
Okay. How we met? To be perfectly honest with you, we met back in high school. It was in the 9th grade. And I actually met through a mutual friend.
Wow.
He was my best friend. Yeah. And we was friends throughout high school, but here's the funny thing. We was in high school for 4 years and we never had one class together, never had one lunch period together or a gym period.
Wow.
But we always was able to see each other between classes and we just stayed in touch. And throughout the years, even through college, we remained best friends, kept in touch, and eventually, in our late 20s,
Yeah, in our late 20s, yeah.
we connected, and it's almost 15 years now.
Yes, it'll be 15 years in August.
Yeah. So
that we've been married.
We was one of those everyone thought we was a couple in high school, but we said no, we're best friends. That's how close we were during the high school years.
Okay.
And yeah, years later now we got 2 children.
Wow. And how old are your sons?
They are 11 and 9.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, Frank, you said when you guys were in high school together, people thought you were a couple, but you really were just friends at that time.
Yes. Yeah. But it's high school, so no one believes you anyway.
Yeah, there might have been something brewing back then that maybe y'all didn't recognize. Because
yeah, we didn't recognize it. We had other boyfriends and girlfriends and everything in high school, and we still stayed friends with each other, and we would talk about our boyfriends and our girlfriends to each other.
Wow, that's really something. So, not quite high school sweethearts.
I guess so.
So I want to ask you guys, every couple, either by accident or by design, determine the quote unquote distribution of labor in terms of roles and responsibilities. So what was that like for the two of you at the beginning of your marriage in terms of determining that distribution of labor?
I guess I can remember at the beginning, I kind of took on, when things have to be paid, like the financial part of things, and what's the due date, how much is this, and kind of getting things in order, financial wise. And we had both been out on our own before we were married. We both had our own places and things like that.
Yeah.
And then, but to come together, I kind of was the one more, um, found it more important, right?
Yeah.
To
To
figure out what the due dates was, and
yeah.
this needs to be done or that needs to be done with the financial. I think with Frank, he's always been the person outside and stuff, right? Doing like putting out the salt or
Oh, doing hands-on work.
yes, the shoveling the
Right.
snow or something like
Yeah.
that.
Right. But yeah, early on, early on we learned about each other as far as taking on those certain roles.
Mm.
And I think, yeah, we it grew on us like as far as who's gonna clean this or clean that. We didn't walk into it with with the distinct you clean this, you clean
Mm-hmm.
that. I think that was
Okay.
just something that we personally just it took on a life of its own, so
Yeah.
to speak. And but for a quick example, Angel did a lot of the cooking earlier, but I would help with certain like things like putting stuff in the dishwasher and things of that
Mm-hmm.
method. And that carried on even to this day,
Mm-hmm.
small things like that. And even if she would do things such as the laundry, I had no problem with folding and putting things away. And
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
we don't argue about how you fold the towels. We just fold them, put them away.
Yes, because he folds towels different from
So,
me.
but, yeah.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. I
I'm
get
just
it.
glad that he does them. Yeah,
Mhm.
that's a small thing, right?
So
Yeah.
that's how we take on the show. We don't really uh designate things. Sometimes the things have to be done, they have to be done. But
Yeah. Yeah. It sounds like it just kind of happened organically based on who was either better at something or who just kind of naturally started doing certain things. That's it sounds like it happened that way.
Mhm.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah. And I mean, I get that. It kind of happened that way for Frank and I as well because there are things that he's better at, there are things that I'm better at, and I think that to me speaks to kind of the health of a relationship rather than saying, okay, well, you as a woman, since you're a woman, you got to do this. Since you are a
Mhm.
man, you have to do that. And having roles and responsibilities that are designated based purely on gender rather than looking at who likes doing it, who doesn't like doing it, and who's better at it.
Mhm.
Yeah, I
yeah.
think that's great. Yeah. And Dr. Nita said, oh, it's about the roles. Yeah, absolutely. So, Angel, let me ask you this. If if you were married when the decision was made to obtain your advanced degrees, how
Mhm.
did you approach this conversation with Frank? And Frank, what was that conversation like for you?
So for my master's degree, um, we were not. I was still with my parents, so we were not
Mhm.
together for my master's degree.
Yeah.
Um, I I then moved out of my parents' house after I got my master's degree, and I think that's when we actually really started dating when I was out of my parents' house.
Hmm.
Um, but then we got married. What 3 years or so later, and we started with baby number one, then baby number two, and I was working with my masters, but I
Yeah.
had always had this dream of being Dr. Angel. I said that
Hmm.
I was going to be a psychologist actually because my bachelor's is in psychology, but then I started to have a love for social work.
Hmm. Hmm.
And so I wanted to get my doctorate in social work and be an expert in the social work field.
Yeah.
And it happened because it was actually a tragedy, right? Or a traumatic
Traumatic
experience.
experience.
A traumatic, I can laugh about it now, a traumatic experience where I had never been suspended, terminated, anything from a position. And
Mm.
the year that I went back to school, I was suspended and terminated from a position in July.
Wow.
And I told Frank I wanted to apply to get my doctorate in social work.
Hmm.
Um, and so he said, go ahead, go for it
Hmm.
the next month. And I was accepted. And before I knew it, I was back in school. He said, it's now what a good time, right?
Yeah. Yeah. She's being real modest at the moment. Um, yeah, a situation came up where she was no longer with that employer, and like she said, it was a traumatic experience because that never happened before.
Mm-mm.
And and she said, you know what, I'm not. And she said, and I'm messing the quote up because she can quote it better. But she said she was quoting the Bible when she said, "What was meant for evil, God will do make good." That's that quote.
Mm-hmm.
What the enemy meant for evil,
Yeah.
God will turn it around for your good.
Good.
Yes, that's it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's what
Yeah.
she said. And
Mm,
with that, she said, "Look, I'm gonna go ahead and they think." She said, "This previous job think they've kicked me down or knocked me down, but I'm going to rise up and now I'm going to further my go get my doctorate." And the
wow.
first thing I said, okay, I'm thinking where is she gonna go to school at? And then she was like, because I'm thinking going back to the campus or to the school, and she said, no, no, we do it online. I said,
Yeah.
oh,
Mm-hmm.
okay. I said, well, you know what? If that's what you want to do, go ahead. Because I'm not. If that's what you want to do, I'm not going to tell you to stop pursuing your goals. So I said,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
But I will say too, he's being modest in that he said that he would be supportive and he would fill in the gap for whenever I couldn't fill in the
Mm.
gap and do certain
Mhm.
things with our children
Yeah.
or certain things for the house. He knew that there would be some, sleepless nights for me or
Mm.
some times that I would really need to step back and he would have to step up. And he said that he would do that.
Yeah. Wow. That's really good. And I asked that question because I remember many years ago, my husband Frank and I had that conversation. This was when our children were younger. I think they were in high school at the time.
Hmm.
And I already had my bachelor's in nursing, and I had started attending. I wanted to attend New York Theological Seminary to get my MDiv. And I remember having the conversation with Frank. And one of the things I said to him is that, it's going to, because I was still working full time as well. And I remember saying to him that it has the potential to impact um, our household, our relationship, and just overall everything within our family. I knew I was going to have to write papers and read books and do a lot of studying and spend a lot of time away from certain tasks that I had been accustomed to carrying out prior to that. And I did. I didn't finish. I started. I
Hmm.
think I did about a year and a half, and I had maybe one more semester to go. But it really, really took a toll on us and our relationship. And I ended up not completing my MDiv. I look back on it now, and I kind of wish that I had just forged through and completed it. And I kind of sort of thought about going back to do it now, but I I said no because I would basically have to start from scratch.
Oh
So
wow.
I did pursue my master's, but that was 3 years ago when I started. Our children were grown, we had grandchildren then, and our marriage was in a much, much better place then than it was way back when our kids were in high school. So I think it's a good idea to have that conversation before venturing out and doing something like that, and being realistic in terms of the potential impact that it could
Yes.
have on your relationship. So it's great that you had that conversation, and now you are Dr. Angel. So how did that feel, Angel, to accomplish that goal? You said that was always your dream. What did
I
it feel?
mean, it feels fantastic. It felt like a dream come true. If it I still don't even
Mm,
I don't know. I still don't even know that I think that I am, Dr. Angel. It's just amazing. Sometimes I think, oh, I got a paper due or something like that. It
yeah,
was
yeah.
December of just last year when they told me, when the dean had wrote me and said that everything was completed and I was finished. I,
Mhm.
I didn't believe it. I believe I cried and I was telling Frank, oh, look at what Dr. Danita put. So I cried and, it was just really, amazing. When
Yeah.
I started my doctoral, I stopped cooking and never
I never returned. Hey,
returned.
Dr. Danita, I don't have my doctorate degree, but I have cut down significantly on cooking as well. Because, I've been cooking for 50 years and I'm fine. So I get it after a while. I get it. I'm with you, Dr. Danita. We here. We are definitely here. But obviously everything is A-okay. Y'all still eating. Ain't nobody
Right.
starved.
Nope.
No, no.
And that's what I say. Couples do what works best for them, and you have to adapt as time goes by because
Hmm.
the way that you navigate your relationship and you structure things in your home during one season is different. When the kids are, let's say, toddlers, and then when they are in elementary school, and then when they are in high school, then when they are in college, and bless you, Jesus, when they finally leave home. Each each season of your life and your marriage relationship, you're going to have to navigate it differently and structure
Hmm.
it differently. So that makes absolute sense. So I just want to give a shout out, Vicky and Lisa, Ben. Who else is watching? There are a couple of other people whose names I can't see. So if I don't give you a shout out, I'm not ignoring you. It's just that I can't see your name. Oh, my daughter-in-law, Nini. Hey, baby, how you doing? So, Frank, you may have touched on this question already, but I'm wondering if there were any adjustments that you had to make regarding any of your particular roles and responsibilities during the time that Angel was in school obtaining her doctorate. And how did this impact some of the hats that you wear?
Yeah. Actually, through most of it, I noticed I had to pick up do a lot of the stuff with the children.
Mm,
So because there was times where Angel had to do her studies or her work or her papers, and yet it's like the children still got to eat, or they
mm,
got to get ready for bed, or just small things like sometimes we would take a lot of turns and as far as like putting the children to bed, but then nights when she was really studying or doing her work, I took on the role of making sure they showered, making sure
mm.
their teeth was brushed,
Yeah,
putting them in the bed, reading the stories or saying prayers with them,
yeah, yeah,
doing those things. But I understood why, because she was doing the work. And there
yeah,
was even times where I noticed that as far as the household, there would be times where she wanted to change where she studied at. Sometimes she would study in the bedroom, which was
yeah.
fine, but then there's other times where she wanted to do her work, either in the dining room or the living room area.
Hmm, hmm.
And when just get a change of scenery from just being stuck
Yeah.
in the room.
Yeah,
So in those cases, me and the boys, we would have to relocate to a different part of the house so she can get that time to study.
yeah,
And they would accommodate me.
Yeah,
Very accommodating.
yeah, and there were certain things we would go places sometimes, uh, like either like to a function or a party. I don't know. We'd go places, and she would bring the laptop. And times in the back of my head, I'm thinking, "Man, we're going to go, eat or do this. Why you bring?" But in the back of my mind, I knew, okay, she's trying to get some work done. So
yeah,
I didn't stress her out by saying no, leave it at home. I just said okay, and we would go places, and sometimes she would dip off to the corner for 15 minutes, half hour to just do some of her work.
yeah,
And I didn't have a problem with it because I understood what she was trying to do. And so even though she was doing all this work, and sometimes I never felt neglected. Even I'd be like, hey,
mm, that's good.
let's do this or that. But she was like, no, I gotta get this work done. Okay, come on, boys, let's go outside and ride the bikes. Give
Yeah,
your mother a minute. So those are some things I had to really pick up on, and the one thing I didn't want to do was like stress her out while she was trying
wow,
to do
that's
all of
good.
this.
Yeah, that's
So
good. That's really good.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
He's a beautiful husband,
So
wonderful husband.
I can see that smile on your face, girl. So, on the heels of that, let me ask you this. How intentional were you as a couple in making sure that there's uninterrupted adult alone time set aside for the two of you.
I will say this, I guess when you were talking about the ages of children and talking about, when they're out the house or all that, it's still difficult to have that time where it's just Frank and I.
Mm,
Anytime that, even prior to my being in school, when they were just babies or toddlers, anytime we wanted to do anything, I had to ask my mother or he asked his mother. And
yeah,
so we can go to a restaurant and eat, or so we can go to the movies. This is post COVID. And
yeah.
so even, I mean, pre-COVID. And so
Mhm.
even, in the midst of COVID, while I was in school, it was hard to do things. I do know, my first residency, I took them with me when we went to Florida for the first residency.
Mm,
And we have family in Florida.
mhm,
So
mhm,
I was
mhm.
in classes and everything, and Frank got a chance to spend time with the boys and with family. And I do remember one night, my sister-in-law, Frank's sister, she did take the boys, and we were able to kind of be around Orlando, Florida, walk around and have that, that time. But it's still hard with
Yeah,
them being 9 and 11. But we do have family that help us to, they'll say, let the boys come spend the night or something like that.
yeah,
But yeah, it's still hard to find that
mhm,
uninterrupted. We have movie nights, right? We have movie nights.
yeah,
Far and few between. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. I understand
Mhm.
that. Being a parent of three myself, my children are now 37, 38, and 39. And I know what it's like when they're young to try to carve out some alone time, adult alone time, just for uh, you and your spouse. So I get it. You do have to plan ahead because it's
Mhm.
hard to be spontaneous when you got little
Yeah.
ones. You got to plan ahead. Okay, who's gonna watch the kids and where they going and
Yes.
how long can they keep them and where can we go and how long can we stay, and you have to navigate all that. I get it. I absolutely. I just want to give a shout out to my other daughter-in-law, Liz, is watching. Monica Stewart from Texas, Latanzi Williams. Thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate you tuning in. So I want to recently Angel and Frank, I read an article by a woman by the name of Elizabeth Galperin, and she's a professional organizer. And her article was about the many hats that women wear. In the article, she talks about work life integration as opposed to work life balance, because she says the balance it's something that rarely if happens, is rarely if ever achieved. This is what she wrote in her article. She
Mhm.
said, rather than looking for balance and feeling guilty when I spent more time on work rather than family or vice versa, I seek integration. At the end of the day, I ask myself, did I accomplish my biggest priority at work? Did I spend enough quality time engaged with my two young boys and husband? Did I do one thing for myself today for self care? And she says, if I can answer yes, then I have achieved my personally defined balance. So, what are your thoughts on that? Thinking of work life integration as opposed to work life balance. What are your thoughts?
Okay.
You can start, and then
Okay.
I'll.
All right. Now, okay. I understand that point about integrating because I think we've been doing that from since we had the children, try to integrate. And as far as her with her schoolwork, she was doing the schoolwork, and she was still taking care of the children and finding time, for husband and wife.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
So I think that actually does make sense about integrating it rather than bouncing, trying. It's better to integrate it than to say I'm gonna spend these 3 days with my husband, these 3 days with my children, and spend this day doing the schoolwork.
Yeah.
So I don't know how we able to do it. I guess like you said, we organically happened, but she would still find time with the children, spend some time with me, and still do her work.
Yeah.
as I previously said before, we would still go out places, and she would bring the laptop.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And there was some times where we're just here at home, and I'll be like, all right, I'm about to take the boys out, and she'd be like, no, let me take them out because I want to go and walk. So I'll go outside
Mhm.
with the boys and we'll walk. So we was able to, as the lady said in the article, to integrate it. I think
Yeah,
with a balance, so no one felt
yeah, yeah.
like I never felt cheated for time, and I'm pretty sure the children didn't, but I never felt like she was spending more time trying to finish her school than trying to
Mm-hmm.
be a wife or a mother
Yeah,
for
yeah.
her.
Mhm.
Okay.
I think along the way too, it was about grace, like realizing that I could give myself grace. Okay, I can spend this time doing this. Then I know that I can do, something with the kids, like he said, go for a
Yes, yes.
walk or,
Mm-hmm.
and then I also knew I could, sit with him and we watch maybe something on TV together or, spend some time talking about a current event. As you said, he is somebody who likes to talk about the world affairs and things like that. And so I think it's about grace too, that you say, okay, well, what did I do with my day? How can I be gracious to myself? Because we only get 24 hours, you
Right,
know,
right,
and
right.
we have to first and foremost, I would say glorify God in those 24 hours.
Mm, yeah.
How did I glorify God in those
Mm-hmm,
24 hours?
mm-hmm, mm-hmm. That's good. That is really good. And
Mhm.
I like her idea also about work-life
Me too.
integration
Mhm.
as opposed to try to balance it all out and saying, okay, well, I'm going to do 25% here and 50 there and 75 there and just try to make it all add up. Um, and rather than that, just saying, okay, I accomplished something here, I accomplished something there. It may not have been the same amount of time, but guess what?
Mhm.
It doesn't have to be because maybe whatever these things are don't necessarily require the same amount of time, but they do need some attention, but
Mhm.
a specific amount of time. Um, Ty and Mariah, thank you for watching. I see your comment. Thank you. I appreciate you. So, Angel, I'm wondering, have you ever felt that you had too much on your plate? Was there ever a time where you kind of just felt overwhelmed and,
Yes.
too much on my plate? Talk to me about that.
Uh, Many a times, when maybe it was a lot of assignments or
Mhm.
maybe when there was a lot of things going on with the boys as far as, like we said earlier, them being in sports and
Yeah,
just trying to make sure, maybe Frank was working, some overtime or something. I'm still trying to get this done or that done. Yeah, so definitely there have been times where I felt overwhelmed. And that's when I just really had to, I would reach out to Frank and say, wow, having to get them here, having to get them there, this is a lot. And I still got this assignment to do. Um, I have a support system too outside of
mm,
just Frank, my
yeah,
parents.
yeah,
And, you know, I think that when we find that we have a lot on our plate, it's okay to reach out to others and let them know, and then
yeah,
they can help you.
yes, yes.
Sometimes you may need someone to help you. I've had friends
Mhm.
that I was working that job. This is prior to school, and I was getting to my son's school a lot later, the daycare and the school. And I had to ask often a mommy friend that I had, can you wait at the school for me? Or ask
Mm,
my mom, can you go by the school and just wait there. He's in the after school program. And
yeah,
so, you know, um, yeah, so I think it's important that when you start to feel overwhelmed, that's a signal that you need some help, that you
yeah,
need to reach
yeah.
out to others for help. We cannot do it all. Um, I don't have the superwoman complex.
Say
We cannot
it
do it
again. Say
all.
it again, girl. Say it
I
again.
don't have the superwoman complex. People may think I'm superwoman, but
Mhm,
no.
mhm,
Mm-mm.
mhm. Yeah, that's really good. And you mentioned your support system. So those people who are a part of your support system, I'm wondering if um, you had any conversation with them prior to going to school for your PhD, and along the lines of, I may need to call on you at certain times, or did you speak to them as the need arose?
As the need arose, as the need arose, but I probably should have, I should say,
Mm-hmm.
um, gave him a warning. But the only person I kind of gave a warning to was Frank. Yeah, but as the need arose. But I often say that I couldn't be where I am today without my support system, and of course, without
Yes.
Frank and the boys. The
Mm.
boys were very encouraging too. They would tell me, you're gonna finish that paper, mom. You're
Aw.
gonna get that done. I said, okay, I'm gonna
Oh,
get it done. Or I have one of my sons that would say, you still working on that? You gotta finish that. I said, okay, I gotta finish it. Okay. I wish it were that easy, but all right.
mhm,
I
mhm,
gotta
mhm.
finish it. So
Wow.
mhm.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So, just
Yeah,
to
go ahead.
there was time when sometimes she would feel overwhelmed,
Uh-huh.
and I just had to tell her, look, you gotta take a break.
Mm.
Like there was times, remember I said go take a walk or you do your exercise, and so like
Mm.
I think, well, it was a couple of times I tried to tell her, look, it's Saturday night. Just can we watch a movie? Can you just take a break, just to
Yeah.
and whatever other things like small things that you don't think is a big deal,
Mhm.
Mhm.
such as going grocery shopping. I'm like, look, I'll go out and I'll go to the grocery store
Mhm.
and get and I'll even take the boys with me or something, so you can have a chance to catch your breath.
Mhm.
So
Yeah. That's good. So Frank,
Mhm.
you were able to, and knowing her as well as you do, you were able to sense when there might have been that shift just prior to her feeling overwhelmed, and you could sense something and say, "Hey, babe, listen, just shut it down and take a little break."
yeah,
Yeah, and walking became something so therapeutic for me to go
Mhm.
for a walk.
Yeah,
It's so
yeah,
therapeutic. Even now. Yeah.
that's good. That's really good. So, Angel, how much, if any, self care did you engage in during that time?
So that's what he's talking about. So I would go for a walk every once in a while. Some self-care that I like to do was I'd like to soak my feet. I have a foot tub here, so I would soak my feet.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, I would give myself some facials sometime.
Hmm, hmm, hmm.
Yes.
yeah,
I would do my hair. Yeah, I did a lot of hairstyles through those 4 years. A lot of hairstyles.
Right. Good.
Yeah.
Good. Yeah,
I
because
would
I feel.
take naps too.
so you
Yeah.
get your rest.
Mhm.
Oh, I
I
love
love
naps.
naps.
I'm with you. I love naps. Sometime in the middle of the day, even when I can say this now because I'm no longer working there, but even during my years as a nurse, sometimes I would just take a break. I'd go to my office and I'd lock the door and I'd take my, turn the volume down on the phone so I couldn't hear it in my office, and shut the lights, set my alarm for 30 minutes, and just take a little
There you
30-minute
go.
power nap. And
Yes, I
man,
love
oh
them.
man, oh man. I mean, to me, it's like you slept all night. It's
Yes, I
rejuvenating.
love 30 minutes power naps.
Power nap. Absolutely. A 30
Yeah, I
minute
would
power
say to
nap.
my sons, "Give me 30 minutes." "Okay, we're gonna let you know when we're gonna let
Mhm,
you know
mhm.
when to wake up."
Yeah.
Mhm.
So, Angel, earlier you mentioned something about a residency. Help the viewers understand what you mean, what that residency is all about, and what your PhD program entailed.
Oh, okay. So I had to go away to Florida for residency, and I had a certain cohort. I don't know whether I had a certain group of classmates
Hmm,
that
hmm.
we started together. So we had to meet with our teachers face to face
Yeah,
and discuss what we were going to do our research on. And so we had actually two residencies. So my first residency in Florida, and it's very intense. It's very intense. You're in class all day long, um, and you're required to do work, required to do papers, required to do presentations,
yeah,
PowerPoint presentations, and all this stuff. Um, so yes, that was the first one. The second residency, which was my final residency, which was February before COVID hit, I went to Arlington, Virginia for that
Mhm,
residency,
mhm.
and Frank and the boys stayed home. I just
Yeah.
I went to that residency by myself for those 4 days. And yeah, so and he stayed home with the kids. And you know what? It really worked out. We really thank God for that because by March is when everything shut down in 2020. So I
Yeah,
thank
yeah.
God I was able to get my residency in, my second and final residency in.
Mhm,
And
mhm.
I thank God that they had that time with their father to go they went to the movies, they went to the jumping place, or I don't know all the stuff that they did.
The
But
boy stuff.
Yeah,
but
yeah,
they
yeah.
were, out and about doing things, and I'm grateful that they had that time. I think the following weekend, since it was still February, I took them to a jumping place too, and that was the last
That was
time
it,
for a
right?
long time that
Yeah,
they had went somewhere because
wow.
of COVID. So no, but the residencies are very intense, and it's hard to even spend time with your family or friends or anything
Mhm,
when
mhm,
you're doing
mhm.
it. So it was good the first time that we had that evening to ourselves. Yeah, that was nice. And
Okay.
yeah.
So Frank, what was it like for you accompanying, your wife on that first residency program?
Uh, to be honest, when we first got there, I forgot that she was there to work, to do schoolwork. Me and the boys thinking vacation because it was like this fancy
The
hotel,
hotel was really nice.
downtown Orlando. So I'm like, yeah, we're gonna have fun in it. And then I'm like, oh, wait a minute, Angel, she gotta go to class. She has
Yeah,
to.
yeah.
So we let her go to class. We didn't interrupt that,
Mm,
and I was there, like I said, I was there to spend a couple of days. Me and the boys would be out and about, and Angel would be in class. And but for me, I'm like, okay, she's working. Let
mm,
her focus on that.
mhm, mhm, mhm.
And she was able. We did stuff, and she was still able to get her work done, and still she found time to spend with family in the evening.
Okay,
And
good.
I was just like, okay, this is a little different. And even I think we drove down to Florida too.
Yes.
So what all that said, look, we come all the way down here, get your
That's a
work done.
long drive. Wow.
Yeah, but yeah, it was. But I think as a family, we needed that. Even though she was there working, still doing
Yeah.
We
schoolwork,
did. We
we
needed to
still
see
needed that.
family, and
So
yeah, that was good. That was nice.
yeah,
Okay.
Hmm.
That's
and
good. Overall, it was a good experience, even though Angel had a lot of work to do.
yeah, it was because it was, and I for me, I really had to. I guess I took on
He
like
wanted
that
me to
father role
he wanted
because
me to come
yeah,
to the different. I couldn't go to
she couldn't.
Legoland.
Yeah, I was like, yeah, that was a whole new experience for me. She's in school doing her
Yeah.
class. I'm at Legoland with these children, and I'm just like, it was different because usually you go to bring somebody else when and I'm like, wow, this would be really
Mhm.
being a father here with two children and just handling all of
But
that.
you did it. You
But
did
we
it.
did it, and yeah, so
Yeah.
that was
Yeah.
so that experience for me was very I think I experienced both sides of still supporting Angel to going to
Mm,
school and still spending
yeah.
time with them. So
Yeah. Yeah. So it was kind of like the best of both worlds, you know.
yeah, yeah.
So I'm wondering if what, if any, boundaries you had to set with family or friends during the time that you were in
Mm.
school for your PhD? Did you have to set any boundaries with family and friends?
Um, yeah, I had to say no to a lot of things. No, I couldn't do certain things.
Mhm.
Sometimes, people didn't understand, but I had to tell them, I'm in school and I
Yeah.
can't really do that. Um, and it was hard for some people. And now coming out of all of that, I am able to reconnect with friends. I'm able to
Mhm.
reconnect with those family members and
Mhm.
do
Mhm.
things, and be able to see them more often and
Yeah.
everything else and talk to them. Um, my mom, she likes to call a lot, and I couldn't really talk as much, but now I
Mhm.
can, call her even more and talk to
Yeah,
her even more and all of that. You do feel some well, I did feel sometimes, oh, I feel, bad that I can't really, engage or do certain things. I wanted maybe to go to certain functions or do different things, but I had to make that sacrifice and have it in the back of my mind that,
yeah.
this is for a season. It's just for a season.
Mm. Mhm, mhm. So,
Yeah.
were there any relationships that changed during that time that you were in school because they had to, that you had difficulty rekindling after you graduated in
Um,
any friendships?
no.
Mhm, mhm,
I think because I should say this. I have friends that are hmm, quality friends, quality
mm,
friendships I have.
yes, yes.
And
Mhm, mhm,
so they understood the shift and they're fine with me now re-engaging with them.
mm,
And it's
mhm.
like we never, skipped a beat.
Yeah, that's
You
good.
know, it's like
That's a
we
real
never
friend.
skipped a beat.
That's a real friend, and yeah, it's good that I like the way that you characterize him. That's a real friend who doesn't get their feelings hurt or get their panties
Mhm.
in a bunch because you have to say no to so many things for a period of time, and
Yes.
they're still able to be there for you after graduation. Say, hey, I'm back. We can hang now. We can do
Mhm.
something that we couldn't do before, and go some of the places together that we couldn't go before. So that's a real friend who was with you and understood during those times, and was there afterwards, and can
Yeah.
enjoy this.
They're there for me now. Even
Yeah.
our church family,
Hmm,
like
hmm.
Frank saying I'd have to bring my laptop. I remember one of our Super Bowl parties we had at the church, and I think I made beans and rice, but I
Hmm.
still had to bring my laptop. I contributed to the potluck we had, but I
Yeah.
still had to bring my laptop, and they were fine. I was in the corner doing a paper, and we had the Super Bowl going on, and they were
Yeah.
fine
Yeah.
with it, and they were like, "Okay, Angel, do your work." They knew,
Very, very
that's how it was
supportive.
gonna be.
Very
Mhm.
supportive. Wow. So, Angel, what would you say to a woman who's married and she has young children and she's working full time and she's considering going back
Mhm.
to school for an advanced degree? What would you say to her in terms of advice or encouragement?
I would say if she really wants it, she can do it.
Mm-hmm.
She does have to consider the time that it will take. She does have to consider, that it will be a sacrifice.
Yeah,
That some areas may have to, like I said, you may have to say no to some things that
yeah,
you
yeah.
would have, been doing previous to the, starting the degree, starting to obtain
Mm-hmm.
that degree, and just understand that eventually, you will get your degree, and then you'll be able to, have other doors of opportunity open up to you,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know and it just I guess even my first year, I will say that I said to Frank, I said, what did I get myself into? And so I would say to her, you may have times where you say, what is this? What is all this that's going on? But you have to keep in the back of your mind, well, this is for a certain period of time, a certain season. This is
Right.
because I have this goal.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
I had a mentor in school that told me, everyone's not handed a doctorate. Everyone doesn't get to become a doctor.
That's
If
right.
you do go through something, it is a
Right.
process.
It's a
And
process.
and
Mhm,
you will, you will be changed at the end of the process too, for the
mhm,
better.
mhm.
I believe for the better, because then you actually believe in yourself a little bit more and say, wow, I was able to obtain this and I was able to make it through, you know. And so I would tell her she could do it. She can do it. She would have that conversation like you're saying with her support system, not just her husband, supportive him. She needs that support system.
Yeah.
And but she can do it. She could do it. There's so many others that have done it, you know, before. There's
Yeah.
so many others that have done it before,
Hmm.
you know. So if they could, then she can too. If I could do it, she could do it too,
Got it.
you know.
So Frank, what would you say to the husbands or to the men who are in the lives of these women who are wearing all these hats and they're about to put on yet another one? What would you say?
I would say your wife really wants to do it. Let her do it. Don't hold
Hmm.
her back from it. I mean, don't be so prideful that you can't have a wife who's trying to advance herself. Let
Yeah.
her do what she wants to, if that's what she really wants to do, and just support her on it.
Mm,
I mean,
mhm.
she's going to be doing the school work, so you're there supporting her and encouraging her.
Yeah.
And even when she's like, sometimes she said she was like, "What did I get myself into?"
Hmm.
And I
Hmm.
just had to just remind her and encourage her that all this hard work, they're trying to weed out the people that really don't want to be. They're trying to weed people out. So don't you be the weed. You continue to be the growing flower, and keep going. So I'll tell the men, look, it's not every day that not every wife or who wants to go on and always want to further their education or go to a next level. So
Yeah.
if
Yeah.
she wants to do that, you know, be there for her and let her do that, because y'all still in marriage, you're still in covenant together. So just as she's striving to educate herself better, that's helping you as well, because y'all are doing it together. So I would just tell the man, yo,
Amen.
let her do that. It's okay. Don't
Amen.
be do not get prideful and say no, my wife's not going to uh
Mm.
be what's that, more accomplished than me. Don't No, y'all in this together, so it's fine.
That's beautiful. That is so beautiful, Frank. Um, to be encouraging, be supportive, and don't be prideful, and don't let your ego get in the way. I think that what you said
Mm,
is really, really important. And if the men who are in the lives of these wonderful women who want to advance themselves and get an advanced degree, then I think it makes it easier for the woman to navigate all of the challenges that are faced while in school if she has a supportive partner at home. Would you agree with that, Angel?
yes, yes. Yeah, it's just it helps you to get through if you have
Hmm.
a supportive, encouraging partner at home. It helps you to
Yeah.
get through,
Yeah, and
you
my
know.
sister friend Lisa Hopkins, she just wrote said that that is encouraging what you guys just said. She says my children are young and they're teenagers, with one graduating in June and starting college in the fall. And she says I'm also thinking about getting my doctorate.
Wow.
Already saying, what am I thinking? And let me tell you, Sister Lisa, let me tell you, Angel, about my sister friend Lisa. Listen,
Mhm.
I call Lisa. I started many years ago. I started calling her the quiet storm because she's quiet
Mhm.
and she's unassuming, but she is a spiritual powerhouse, and
All right now.
she already has her MDiv. So, Lisa, I encourage you. I encourage you. I encourage you to continue on and pursue your doctorate. As
Yes,
Angel said,
Lisa.
it may be difficult and there's sacrifices that have to be made, but it is doable, right, Angel?
It is doable. It is doable.
Yes, it's
Yes.
doable. And let me add on, as far as it being doable, I'm gonna just say it's when me and my boys would pray at night. I put them in bed.
Hmm.
We were praying for Angel to finish her doctorate.
Mm.
And so they was involved too, and we all was
It
pray
was
for
a
her at
family
home.
affair.
She had
Yeah,
prayer at home, and she had prayer in the church family. So
yeah,
we get
yeah.
support from all ways and from all around. And like I said, prayer does work. So we did a lot of that because
Yeah,
not only
yeah,
we praying for her to finish it, but also to endure. Because like she said, some days it was overwhelming, but we got
yeah,
there.
yeah. And I think it's great the way that you included the boys, because this helps them on so many levels, not just as sons, but as future husbands, to see
Mm.
how a man, how a husband, how a father supports the woman in his life. So I think that I'm getting goosebumps over here. I think this is so beautiful. It's a beautiful story. Um, and Lisa's saying yes, prayer is powerful. It is not to be underestimated. The power of prayer and the impact that it
Amen.
has in our lives, and how it enhances our lives and can help us along the way when we are
Mm-hmm.
facing those challenges. Because we know as Christians, we are not exempt from challenges, but we have the advantage. We got three advantages. We got God the Father, God the Son, and God the Holy Spirit. So
Amen.
it helps
Yes.
get us
Yes.
through. Um, you guys, I just want to thank you all so much for being here.
Thank
I want
you.
to share with the viewers some information for Dr. Angel. I don't know if you guys could see it. I tried to put up the link to
I
her
think you did.
Psychology Today. Did you see it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yes. And I'm gonna put my I'll put my Facebook page in here too.
Yes. And I also, in addition, now listen, here's another hat she wears. She sells jewelry, okay? And listen, y'all, some of y'all know that I am a costume jewelry junkie. I'm a junkie, okay? I admit it. Uh, costume jewelry is my crack. I
There's nothing wrong with that. Yeah.
am
You look
definitely
good.
one of Angel's jewelry. So I'm one of her customers. So she has angelsjewelryboutique.com. That's where she sells her jewelry. And she is on, she's Psychology Today. You can go to their website, and the link is there in the comments. But if you can't see the link, you can go to Psychology Today and type in her name,
Mm-hmm.
Angel Windham, and you'll find her there. Okay, and Lisa's laughing because yeah, I'm one of Lisa's customers too. So y'all know I'm a junkie. I'll buy me some paparazzi in a hot minute. So Angel Wyndham, look for her on Psychology Today. Go to her website, angelsjewelryboutique.com, and support her paparazzi business. Okay, and if you go to that page and you like it, I think like, or I don't know if it's like or follow, or whichever it is, because Angel does lives as well, several lives throughout the week with her jewelry, and you can get a notification about the lives that she does, and perhaps you can be a customer as well. And Angel, before we
Mm-hmm.
sign off, I see that you and your husband have on some matching T-shirts. Share with everyone what the T-shirts say. I love
It
it.
says, you cannot curse what God has blessed.
Woohoo! That's powerful.
You
You
cannot curse what
cannot
God.
curse.
Um, we
Yeah.
have a young lady at our church
Mhm.
who has a business. I'll put it in the chat too,
Yeah.
and it's Godly Gothic, and so it's
Ah.
wonderful how she makes these different shirts,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
so I'll put it in the chat for people to see her page.
Okay, and it's called Godly Gothic.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well,
I put it in there, Godly Gothic Designs. I
anybody
put
who
it in the chat.
knows that I love me some t-shirts also, because I, and a lot of times me and the Cookie Man, when we're doing this together, we'll wear matching t-shirts as well. So I got a couple of.
We did this in honor of you.
Oh, I appreciate that. Thank you guys so much. So guys, you see that Godly Gothic Designs, and she's on Facebook, Instagram, or both. Where is she?
She's on Facebook and Instagram.
Okay.
But it's I think this is her handle both places. both
Okay, so
places.
you want to look
Hmm.
for Angel Jewelry Boutique. You want to look for Dr. Angel Wyndham on Psychology Today. And for those of you who have children, or you know someone who has children who needs counseling, Dr. Angel has the oil to counsel children. God bless her. God bless her. God bless her. So reach
Thank
out to
you.
her on Psychology Today. And again, Angel, Frank, God bless you guys. God bless your family.
Thank
I
you.
cannot thank you enough for being here. And to those of you who are watching, thank you for watching, and join us next week. Next week, we're going to have some singles on talking about dating in the age of COVID and what that has been like. So join
Mm.
us next week. We're going to be talking about dating in the age of COVID, and join us, and you might learn something for those who are single, and maybe even for those of us who are married, because we still need to date. We still
Yeah.
need to date our spouses. Just because you're married don't mean you don't date your spouse. Right, Frank?
That's right. That's right.
Okay, I love you guys. Thank you so much.
Love you
Guys, thank
too,
you so much.
Valerie. Thank you for
Thank you.
having us. God
See
bless
you
you.
next week.
All
Bye-bye.
right.